Howdy, 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 all you cool cats and kittens. Welcome back to a house where we practice swords in the bedroom. That's not a euphemism. Berkeley is currently practicing swords.
Yep. Gotta stay fit for those monsters.
That's right. And if you're not doing Zumba with swords, you're not really doing Zumba, are you?
Welcome, Meg and Susie. I do not understand Twitch very well, despite the fact that I'm here every week. These emojis, I think how it works is if you sub to someone, you can you subscribe to a Twitch channel, you can use their emojis on other Twitch channels. But I don't know, Susie and Meg are always here with the wildest, funniest emojis. Thank you for giving us your gifts.
Could you attempt to give me a textual description of a funny and wild emoji?
Yeah. Do you remember Annoying Orange?
Yeah.
So imagine Orange, or imagine Annoying Orange saying bleh, but then it was a person instead of Annoying Orange.
Okay.
And then just imagine three of those next to each other.
Oh, wow. All right.
Right? It's good. It's good energy.
That is good energy.
And now there's another one. Imagine it's like a guy who's frowning, but he's happy about it and has a mustache.
So you're saying grown-up Goob from Meet the Robinsons?
Yeah, sure.
Berkeley, I don't remember what we were doing last time, but I have a lot of ancient fruit in my inventory.
I think that you brought that to the shed to put in some machines.
Oh yeah, were we trying to build a barn? A second pig barn here?
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe a second shed.
Okay. Well, I'll ponder that for the next 4 business days.
Okay. Oh my goodness, there's more emojis. This time, imagine Goob again, but now he's in a green leotard, and he's got pretty pointy ears.
Elf Goob.
Yeah. And it one of those ones that goes morph suit. That's what I was trying to say, not leotard.
Oh yeah.
Morph suit. Okay. All the way over the head.
If Goob was an elf, Goob's elf name would be Goobindero.
Goobindero. Yeah. I like that.
It feels Tolkien-esque to me.
Yeah. Meg and Susie Moo are saying that this is Tingle he's dressed as Tingle from Zelda, but those aren't real words, so.
You don't know Tingle?
Who's Tingle?
Tingle
Why
is
would they name someone Tingle?
Your fabulous fairy friend who helps you do all sorts of stuff.
I don't know about that.
Pretty sure Tingle was first introduced in Legend of Zelda Wind Waker for GameCube. Classic game. One of the greatest games of all time, coincidentally. Not coincidentally. It was intentional. Yeah, and you could hook your Game Boy up to the GameCube to do extra little Tingle tasks. It was all very fun.
Not the Tingle tasks. Nothing from Zelda seems real. Happy for them. A little whimsical world they've created over there at Nintendo.
You need to play.
Jared.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I found a purple star rabbit foot. If you give this to anyone other than Penny, they'll be elated.
All right. Which one is Penny, so I know who to definitely not give it to?
Penny has...
It's the orange sweater.
Red hair. I don't know what kind of sweater she has.
Okay. Red hair. Avoid somebody wearing red hair.
Meg says sometimes she hooks up to a computer for Tingle tasks. Are any Zelda games multiplayer? Not that I know of. Are there any?
Yes.
Mario
Uh,
Kart.
the classic Zelda game, Mario Kart. You'd never guess it from the name, but Mario Kart is in fact a Zelda game. No, I'm pretty sure that there was a Game Boy um, game, and it was like something in the Four Swordsmen, and it was multiplayer. I didn't have enough copies or enough friends to play that multiplayer, but yeah, I think that would have been it. Let me fact check myself. As I'm talking, I'm realizing that I'm on very thin ice with my Zelda knowledge of 2005, because that was 20 years ago and I'm an old man now.
I just saw Linus and he was just zooming. He was walking faster than I've ever seen an NPC walk. And I talked to him and he said something about a feast of mushrooms in the fall. So just happy for whatever he's going on.
He
He's got going on.
definitely ate some mushrooms and now has to use the bathroom because he didn't ID them correctly.
Yeah, he was running to the lake next to his tent, which is also his bathroom.
The lake's not a lake. Linus built that as a giant toilet.
Yep. Every time you see Sebastian or Abigail or Maru or Demetrius staring into the lake thoughtfully, they don't know it's a toilet, and we're not allowed to tell them.
Okay. So it's called The Legend of Zelda Four Swords Adventures. And it is multiplayer. Apparently it had a GameCube release. But it wasn't really like a story-based game like so many of the other Zelda games. Okay, yeah, it was on GameCube or Game Boy Advance. All right, vindicated. I do know my 2005 game lore.
Nice. Winning.
Hashtag winning. Speaking of hashtag winning, it looks like the Syrian civil war has finally come to an end. Boy, that was a terrible way to introduce a dark topic.
The war ended. That means it's a light topic, I think.
Yeah. So
yeah, Jared was telling me about this before the stream, and I thought I didn't know as much about it as I thought I should, and I thought maybe other people would want to hear. So tell us about the Syrian civil war.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember 2013, 2000. I really is more like 2010 to 2012, the Arab Spring. All right, a bunch of countries in North Africa and the Middle East had uprisings against dictatorships, and some of them were successful, some of them were not so successful. Libya is an example of a state that is currently stuck in pretty bad conflict as a result of stuff that happened during that era. But Syria tried to overthrow their dictator Bashar al-Assad, who inherited power from his dad when his dad couped the country in the 60s. And Assad, instead of being a reformer like he said he was going to be, decided that he wanted to reform the country, but what he wanted more was to rule it with an iron fist before he would reform. So that meant that yeah, yep, and he ended up massacring civilians and getting Russia involved to help him gas and bomb and otherwise destroy his country. And that's pretty much what they did. The country fractured, and things fell apart in a pretty major way, and that caused a huge refugee crisis in Europe, and also has kind of caused the rise of the far right in Europe indirectly by creating fear and instability in society there. And, ISIS and all that other stuff kind of spun out of that failed uprising. But the people didn't stop fighting. And even though the groups resisting the Assad regime fractured, and some of them spun off and became quite violent extremist groups, things seem like they've kind of reconstituted themselves in a not terrible way. So the guy who's in charge right now, I'm blanking on his name, but just recently a Islamic group came together and kicked Assad out of the country. They fled. The Russian troops have withdrawn to their bases in just trying to control the ports that they have on the north coast of Syria. And the leader of that group has been elected as the leader of their kind of interim council. So he's the president right now, and they're working on setting up legislative bodies. And all of this is kind of interesting and not too surprising from a PR standpoint. But what is very interesting is that this leader has made a pretty clear move to try to be a fair and somewhat secular leader, even though his group was an Islamist group that brought him to power. So people are talking on the Syria subreddit about how they're allowed freedom of expression, economic freedom, internet censorship has gone away under this new regime. And it seems like this guy, the new president of Syria, is trying his best to be a legitimate statesman. He's visited several countries, including Turkey, Saudi Arabia. He's doing an interview with a podcast. I think it's run by a couple of British folks. I could be wrong about that, called All the Rest is Politics. So it's just fascinating to me that this conflict, which was kind of a symbol of absolute brutality and the depth of despair, I would argue, for the region, has reshaped itself and become somewhat of a success story. It's still very early days, so we can't say for sure that things are going to work out great. But the guy has made genuine effort. I just pet the dog and bone fragments flew out. Is that supposed to happen?
Yikes. Yeah, you should probably not pet him so hard.
Whoa. Anyways, in a world full of bad news, it looks like things are improving for Syria. And it's cool to see somebody who comes from an Islamist background and fought with an Islamist group doing their best to run a more secular, fair government for the diverse ethnic and religious groups within Syria. It's neat.
Nice. Yeah, thanks for that history lesson. That's cool stuff to know about. Yeah, I remember the Arab Spring being a big deal at the time, and then, most US news kind of stopped covering it pretty quickly, and it's interesting hearing how that stuff has continued to progress and like tying different events together across the past decade and a half.
Yeah. It's wild to me that it's been 15 years since that stuff happened, and it's easy to look at history in kind of an isolated this happened so this happened perspective as a linear event with a starting point, but there really isn't a clear starting point for any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that fascinating how our own perspective and the media coverage shapes what we remember, and all that all that stuff's interesting. And I think it's kind of represents a unique, maybe a hopeful future for other Arab states that are currently struggling with that stuff, that they can find some sense of stability and balance. So that's just what I've been reading, a book about the Syrian Revolution and ensuing civil war. But Berkeley, it sounds like you've been also reading maybe some less depressing
Something less heavy.
stuff.
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, I was reading a lot of books about writing, and one of the ones I read was Stephen King's memoir. But I had never actually read a Stephen King novel, so I asked for one for Christmas, and I got The Gunslinger. That was one of the many Stephen King novels that became a popular movie later. And I gotta say, this guy's a great writer, but I have never read such a sexist book. It's like, it's so bad. There's a subreddit called like men writing women or men writing about women, where they just show cartoonishly bad depictions of women in literature, and just every time there's a female character on screen, it could be posted to that subreddit. There's a scene where the gunslinger is shooting through a crowd of people who have been possessed and are trying to capture him, and he takes out 15 men and does not describe any of them, and he takes out 10 women or 10 children, does not describe any of them, and he takes out one woman, and it literally said the words, "She fell whorishly," and then described how her skirt flew up over her head as she fell. It's like, what are you doing, Steven? You gotta... Have you talked to a person? Have you left your house ever?
Right.
I don't get it. And then the thing that wounds me is that this is a really bad systematic issue that's been going on for centuries. The other thing that wounds me is that in his memoir, he described how he's about to give up on his writing career. And then his wife pulled his manuscript out of the trash can and said, "Don't worry, I'll help you with your female characters, and then you'll be perfect and you'll have a great career." And so I know he's got his wife helping him, and this is still as good as it got.
This is the approved version.
Yeah. What was in the trash can? So I don't know. I can't recommend Stephen King just on that. The setting is really cool. The vibes are really cool. You're just reading about a man and his mule crossing the desert, hunting a mysterious person in you don't really know what's going on. It's very cool, but why has it got to be so bad? That's my Stephen King review. His memoir was great. If you're going to read something, maybe try that one instead.
He didn't describe himself as falling whorishly in his memoir.
No, he did not.
Ah, dang.
He described himself as falling cocainishly.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Totally different.
Mary Lewis getting mad at Sam for busting out a sweet grind. And then complaining about the youth these days. Wow, relatable. Rare
Maybe
Mayor Lewis W.
Maybe the youth these days would be better behaved if they were allowed to bust out sick grinds every once in a while.
Oh, I made Mayor Lewis mad.
Nice.
Thought you were more mature than this? Doubt it. Doubt it.
Air guitar. Skateboard away.
My whole life is a film about my adventures. Sam, the fact that you're not wearing a helmet invalidates all the cool points you could have earned with that sweet trick. Brain damage is not cool.
Nothing's cooler than cranial safety.
That's the best way you could have said that for it to be the maximum amount of cool.
Thanks, man.
Why am I trying to be friends with all these people? What do I get out of this? Cutscenes?
At the end, it'll say that you're friends with all the people, and that'll be like one of our progress markers towards as close to perfection as we can get without tools.
That's fair. It's a
So
metric
it
on my
really is its
performance
own
review.
reward. Yes, 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 yes.
Speaking of things being their own reward, Berkeley, you showed me a quote unquote game that that one of your colleagues made, and I thought it
I'm
was
so
pretty
happy about
awesome.
this. Yeah, I've got a coworker who found out about digital Magic the Gathering cards and just immediately was so skeptical of it and scoffing at it because as he pointed out, it's just a random number generator with pretty pictures on it. I guess let me back up. There's a game, Magic the Gathering, and you can buy packs of cards and you open them, and some of the cards are more rare and some of them are less rare. And if you get a rare one, you get to sell it to Post Malone, I think is how it works.
Yeah, that's exactly how it
Um,
works.
and I don't want to knock on anyone's hobbies. I'm really glad Magic the Gathering exists. But if you do strip down these like digital trading card packs to their bare bones, you got to be a little cynical about it, I think. Anyway, my coworker made a parody where it's this website where just every 4 hours you click give me more numbers, and it literally just gives you 10 numbers. For your first 50 packs, they're going to be numbers between like 1 and 500, but most of them are going to be low. I think once you open 50 packs, you start getting negative numbers. um, and even though we know exactly what it's doing and what it's trying to satirize, it totally works. And me and all my coworkers are just on there every 4 hours getting our new packs of cards and comparing who got the highest cards and funny or cool patterns that we noticed in the numbers that we got. So that's just a fun little experiment in human psychology.
Tell them what your highest number is.
My highest number is 360.
Such a great number.
Pretty good one.
All right. Who have I not talked to today? So many people, including Mayor Lewis. Does Mayor Lewis hang out at the bar?
Often, I don't know about Mondays, but he's there a lot.
If my elected official's not hanging out at the bar on Monday, I don't know what his priorities are.
He was going for you could share a drink with him, or you would want to share a drink with him. He couldn't quite hit that high of a bar, so he just settled for you will share a drink with
You
me.
will, you must.
It's a real JD Vance move. He walks in there every night and they're like, hey, what can I get you? And he's like, oh, you know, a couple beers, a couple shots, whatever makes sense.
Just give me people drinks. I'll drink what the people are having.
4 people drinks, please.
Whoa, that's a weird animation. The sprite of me sitting on a bar stool looks really weird.
I noticed that the other day when I was playing. I think that if you sit forwards or backwards, your legs look the same, or they're at the same angle.
They are, yeah, the angle is the same. It looks like it just changes whether the stool is the in front graphic or not. Yeah.
Which I guess, to be fair, is how stools work in real life.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Berkeley, we were trying to get your mining skill up, if I remember correctly, and I had some responsibilities associated with that, but I don't think I've been fulfilling my end of that bargain.
No, dude, I'm in the mines right now as we speak.
How
I'm
are you capable of
rocking and
this?
rolling. How am I? There's a mine cart that takes me to the cave, and then there's an elevator that takes me to the mine.
So you're saying that without the
Pretty much it.
Industrial Revolution, this would not have been possible for you?
It would have just taken slower, I think, because we had ladders and our feet before that.
Ah, true.
All right, chat. Who's playing Balatro? Speaking of cards and games based on psychology.
I have played a little bit of Balatro, and it frightens me. It seems like it could be very addictive to my personality. My random number generator and give me the numbers please version.
So, Meg says, please explain how a card game is addictive. I'm a little surprised that you're worried about it being addictive because you've introduced me to a couple of roguelikes, Risk of Rain 2 and Super Hot.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing, right? It's just you're making poker hands instead of shooting people or throwing katanas in their face.
Yeah, true. And arguably, making sets of cards is much more morally safe than throwing katanas in people's faces
For
or
sure.
shooting them.
Because the Bible does not say anything about playing cards, and it does say don't throw katanas in people's face.
Well, I mean, maybe not in so many words. No, I think it's more like when I sit at my computer, that's time I've set aside to do leisure activity generally. But I don't have any games on my phone that I would describe as like captivating the same way as these other games are, because I think that it would become much more tempting for me to be doing that when I should be doing other things, because I have my phone with me everywhere. Did you just sword the dog?
I did not mean to. I was trying to
Wow.
pet it, and I guess I
Look
already
what
had
Balatro does to the mind. Balatro forces you to sword your dog. Oh, did I
Yeah, it's
skip?
in there. The Jokers made me do it.
Wow. So just if you haven't played, my brief experience with it is you're trying to get cool card combos and you can buy power-ups basically that allow you to do different stuff with your cards. And you only have a certain set of draw or discards that you can do in a round. And you have to strategize, which is, I think, thematically something I failed at throughout my whole life is strategizing. So maybe that's part of my shade against Balatro. But I watched Alton play it, my brother, and he's very good at strategizing, and so he was able to do great things.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the game. I feel like the best way to describe it is to just compare it to other roguelikes that are based on combat instead of poker. Like, because it's just the same thing. You're going through runs, you're trying to beat as many, like, I don't remember what they call them, blinds, as many blinds as you can, but just pretend that those are mini bosses or areas or stages of a dungeon. And yeah, you're buying upgrades to your moves. You're trying to do the coolest moves you can. And that's it. That's the game. I feel like what makes the game so good compared to how I'm describing it is it's got just the perfect number of systems that interact with each other in cool ways. Like, so you've got the poker hands that you're playing where like a 3 of a kind is better than a 2 of a kind, and a run of cards that are all the same suit is better than a run of cards that are not the same suit. Just kind of like basic card mechanics like that. But then there's also the system where you can upgrade the number of points that any of those hands gets you. And then there's also a system where you're adding like score multipliers to any hand that you play, regardless of what type of hand it is. And then you've also got a system where you can buy better, more advanced cards to put in your deck. And then there's another system that I'm forgetting. Oh, you're getting money between each round, and then you can buy upgrades between rounds. And they all just like mesh together the perfect amount. So,
Can I ask a question?
yeah.
Should I be making ancient fruit wine or apricot wine?
Ancient fruit wine.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it for, so they've got Balatro on PC or mobile, and I got it mobile specifically because I wanted to spend less time on social media with all of the horrible US politics news that I get every time I open my phone. And it has worked for that, but I can definitely see the concern with like not wanting to have something so enticing on your phone. The other thing I love about it is you could pause it anytime, at least in the mobile version. I don't know if the PC version is the same way. Like you don't need to finish a run. You can pick it up or set it down as desired, and it saves your progress. They say you missed one. Meg and Susie say you missed one. Probably a wine machine.
Yep, you're right. Good eye. Or good eyes. Plural. Thank you. Wine machine. Love it.
Nice. Thank you, Meg and Susie. You've saved us.
So, Berkeley, I think your perspective on Balatro being fundamentally a combat game is so interesting to me, because that is so not how I thought about it. But it's true. It is basically turn-based, like a turn-based RPG, except instead of characters, you have cards.
I mean, it does feel different than a combat game, but I think the things that make it special are all the roguelike aspects and not the deck building aspects or like the poker playing aspects. And so the parts that make it interesting are the same as the parts that make Risk of Rain interesting, or that make like Archero interesting. That's another mobile game that I've played a lot. So yeah, that's why I make that comparison. It definitely feels different, and like the core gameplay feels different, but the parts that make it cool, I think, are the same.
Yeah, and for me, like a lot of the roguelike games I play are first person or 3D, if not first person. And I think something about the movement element of the game really does something for my brain in a way that more kind of top-down stuff does not. So, yeah, fascinating.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know who I can never give gifts to? The dude who lives in the library and looks like his name should be Wendell.
Yeah, the dude whose name should be Wendell cannot receive gifts, so you're
Oh,
not missing
really?
anything. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. They don't have a house.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Homelessness in Stardew Valley has increased 100% because before it was 0. And no, before it was 1, and now it's 2. That's how that works. I thought this was a cutscene because I couldn't see my guy, but it's not a cutscene. I just had the Discord window over the doorway. Elliot, you get an apricot. Don't spill it on your book or Wendell's gonna come kill me in the game.
A fun fact about those books, they usually the library books are populated when you dig spots in the ground. And it's like, oh, you found a lost library book. So I think whatever Elliot can get on those is going to be fine compared to where it came from.
That is true.
Oh, Susie says tell Elliot that she loves him. Can
Elliot,
you just quickly tell him that
Susie
for her?
Moo loves you. And don't forget that. If you do forget that, I'll tell you again.
And Meg says give Sebastian a little kith for her. I don't know what that was supposed to be. Maybe a kilt?
It's Mike
Maybe
Tyson Kith.
Mike Tyson kith. Yeah.
Nobody's home. Why is your door unlocked? Why can't I just walk into your house? You should not trust me with walking into your house. I'm the fruit man. I'll put fruit between your couch cushions.
Meg's accusing me of deliberately misunderstanding what she was saying about Sebastian. I don't know how play the tape back. That's not what happened. Oh, another emoji. Imagine annoying orange, but not annoying, and like human like the other one, but like maybe a little more potato shaped than orange shaped. Definitely human. I'm not comparing it to a potato, but if I had to compare it to a produce, it would be a potato. And then like sarcastic, amazed at the sky.
This feels like this is terrible of me, but I've always thought Steve Harvey's head looked like a potato shape. So I'm imagining Steve Harvey rolling his eyes.
Okay. White and beard, threatening neck beard. Not quite neck beard, but threatening it.
Ah, that's much trickier. Interesting.
But looks like a chill dude. I would be friends with him.
Looks like the illustration of the chill dude from the meme.
Oh,
Or
I don't know which one that is. I don't know the names of memes ever.
goodness, I just walked into Mayor Lewis's house and he hits me with the good evening. What? What?
You're
What?
just in time for dinner.
No, no, no. And why does he have is this a question box? Is it a ballot box? What's going on over here, man?
Oh yeah, that's new with 1.6. It has fabulous prizes.
Oh, well, good thing we have 0 tickets to feed into the machine. Cool.
Oh no, I've committed a faux pas. Apparently that last emoji I was describing was not a custom one and is in fact one of the default Twitch emojis. And it is a world-renowned video gamer, John Bain.
I don't know anybody named John Bain. I think that might be too powerful of a name for any one human being to have.
Yeah, John Bain feels like a Batman character, but maybe I'm just thinking of Bruce Wayne and Bane.
Right, Bane. But if you take Bane and you change his name in universe to John Bane, now he's just a dude who goes to the office and happens to be jacked and wears a mask.
I think I would be more unsettled by someone that dresses as Bane and works in an office than by someone who dresses as Bane and sinks a football stadium into the ground.
Don't forget to put your timesheet in.
On the topic of those fabulous prizes in Mayor Lewis's living room, Susie Moo reminds us that you can do quests from the quest board on Piers to get tickets as rewards.
Ah, okay. Yes, I think we did. I did do some of those in my private save. I don't know if I've attempted any in this public playthrough, though. Let's see what we got here. Caroline
They're
says
pretty.
I could really go for a ripe eggplant. Nope. I'm out of here. See, basically, if you need wine or truffles, we got you. Anything else? Yeah, you're on your own.
quick, I need 300 apricots.
Oh, we could do that. We could do that. All right, who wants to watch me eat an entire 3-tier chocolate cake right before bed?
Do it.
Delicious. Definitely not going to make me sick to my stomach.
Maybe Caroline would accept that instead of the eggplant.
Oh no, I've picked the bed up. What have I done? Terrible.
Susie Moo says Matilda movie vibes.
Oh, the chocolate cake. Yeah. I had a
Or
chance.
picking up the bed with your brain.
Oh, well, there's that too. Well, it's technically everything you do with your brain, right?
I definitely do some things that don't involve the
brain
meat sack upstairs.
Okay.
I didn't like that either. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Maybe the worst way ever to describe the brain. Well, it's out there. It's on record. You got to live with that now.
Guess so. Well, one of us is in charge of downloading the VOD and uploading it somewhere else.
You're gonna run for Senate, or you're gonna be nominated for a federal position. They're gonna have to review you, and they're gonna ask you, how would you describe the human brain? And you're gonna have to say on record, the meat sack upstairs, Senator.
Meg wants to know I keep skipping her chats. I'm sorry. I get embarrassed. I get flustered when your jokes are so funny. Let me go back and read them. Four swords in my good Christian bedroom. And Caroline wants your eggplant in my good Christian farming sim. Very good.
Yeah.
Great jokes.
Yep. Those are the things that happened.
Oh, Four Swords reminded me of something very just aggressively uninteresting that I was going to say. So buckle up. I noticed something today when my daughter said it's for 5 years olds. A reasonable thing to say when you think about it, because she is 5 years old. And if we were going to pluralize that, 5 years olds, right? But no, we, as the wise adults that we are, we would say 5-year-olds. So if there's one, they're 5 years old. Adjective, I guess. Plural noun, you drop the S from the
5.
years.
Yeah, but then that implies it could be 5 1-year-olds. 5-year-olds. Ambiguity in English. How could this have happened?
But then you said, I forget the name of it, Four Swords Adventures?
Yes.
And I feel like Four Sword Adventures is probably what I would call that, not knowing the context of like how important the number of swords are in those adventures. If I just had to guess, I would have said Four Sword Adventures. Or Four Swords Adventure, those both sound more natural than Four Swords Adventures. I think it's strange for us to pluralize two words in the same phrase.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Whoa, there's so much wine ready to harvest. Do you have ancient fruit on you?
I have none ancient fruit.
Okay. I'll see if there's any.
Oh, there's none in this chest. There's none in the greenhouse. Unless there's some ready to harvest, and I just don't know how it looks when it's ready.
Oh yeah, these blue, those are ready to harvest.
Do I scythe them down with my scythe?
Nah, you just pick them.
I don't know how to do that.
You just get close and then you hover over it, and then you're on a controller, huh?
Nah, I switched to mouse and keyboard today. Wow, worth it.
I don't know what you're doing, but I tried to give you one and it said Jared can't handle your request right now. Try again in a minute.
We both tried to give each other something at the same moment.
I love the implication that was just too overwhelming. I would love to take a truffle from you, but right now I've just got so much on my hands with all these GD apricots. I've had pockets full of apricots for days.
True.
Okay. Susie Moo says ambiguity in my good Christian English language. Imagine. Say it ain't so.
Great song.
You just got Weezered.
Another thing you should say during your public Senate hearing of the future.
Well, so here's what I've learned. You can ask people questions during Senate hearings and then show them tapes that refute the thing they just said. Doesn't matter. No consequences. Bernie Sanders.
Is that not perjury? I guess it's not perjury because it's not a court of
Nothing's
law.
perjury if no one stops you.
Dang. So it's all just
Bernie
theater
Sanders
then.
it sure is. Sanders had a great gotcha moment against RFK Jr. and just doesn't matter. Nothing matters. So someday when I am in a Senate hearing, against my will, I will add, I don't want to be in a Senate hearing for anything.
That's what people who want to be in a Senate hearing would say, though, isn't it?
Well, maybe.
I'm not a hero. I'm so humble. There's no way that the American people could possibly be relying on little old me because I'm just a chill guy.
Just a dude. I just stream with my no tools. You wouldn't appoint a no toolser to whatever federal agencies are left in this hypothetical future. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, you'll show all these embarrassing clips of me and I'll be like, and then I'll get approved.
You'll just move your head a little bit. Okay, so I believe his name is Lee Zeldin, was just appointed the head of the EPA. And since I work in the power industry, we pay attention to this sort of thing. And it was reported on in one of the industry news feeds that I follow. And the picture that they have of this guy, his eyes look like dead shark eyes. The dude, it's terrifying. It's terrifying. I don't even know how this dude got elected. He was a senator before this. How?
Okay.
It's crazy.
Jared, have you considered could secretly be a shark? Could be trying to improve life for sharks. Head of the APA, that's a good place for a shark.
You'd think so, but if you are trying to improve life for sharks, you might want to consider having like some sort of standard that restricts oil drilling and other things that would damage the ocean.
Jared, we're going to get to the policies later. Don't think about that yet. We're just still in the get the smart people in the room together phase, and then I'm sure the problems will solve each other easily.
Man, I sure hope that we're not getting all the smart people in the room together so that we can destroy them in one clean, easy sweep, right? That would be a shame.
That would be a shame.
Anyway,
sharks are behind big oil.
I hope not. Enough of my cynicism, though. The mushroom cave reminded me today. I use Google Earth a lot for my job, and I came across a gas station. You know how gas stations usually you've got like the pumps, and then you've got a little store. Well, this store is literally just a doorway drilled into the side of a mountain. And
what?
Yeah, it's got the
That's
little
amazing.
like shop inside sign over the top, and then a door just in the side of a mountain. And then about 6 feet to the right of that door is like an old timey mine entrance that's been blocked off with pallets. And I'm so curious what's in there.
That is
This is
so
real.
cool.
This is real. If you look up Hollow Mountain in Hanksville, Utah, you can look at this on Google Street View. It's the weirdest thing.
That is so cool. If I had a if I had a gas station that was built into the side of a mountain like that, everything sold in that like convenience store, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Everything sold in that convenience store would be a fracking pun. And it would be easy because you could just put fracking in front of everything.
Let me get some fracking gum. Gosh.
Fracking good coffee.
Yeah, I like that. I thought you were gonna go like the dwarven route. Like you definitely have some like hearthstones, some hearts of the mountain available for purchase. You know, dragon gold, enchanted armor worth more
Mm-hmm.
than the
Mm-hmm.
GDP of a small country.
For sure. Yeah. Let's do it. I like that too. You can go both ways. Susie Moo says road trip. Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, you could. It's yeah, southern Utah. And it's on the way to some very beautiful places. But yeah,
And
this
is itself a beautiful place, right?
I think you could make that argument. I love trees too much to
Hmm.
fully endorse that statement.
Fair.
Oh, it's George's birthday. Happy birthday, George. The advantage of giving a gift to everybody every day is that eventually they think that you remembered their birthday. That's the real strategy for being a good friend and or partner. Gifts every day so that
Mm-hmm.
any given day might be an anniversary or a birthday.
There we go. Can't miss if your net covers the whole ocean. That's the
Shoot.
rule.
Oh, I just scared a possum. What? Get back here, possum. Oh, there was some stuff on the ground. Was that wood? I didn't see what I picked up.
Meg would like to see the list of who you're friends with and how much in real life if you have it, but also game would be acceptable.
Okay. In real life, I have two friends, and how much is really tough to quantify. So I'm not gonna try there. But in game, that's a much bigger list, but also much easier to quantify. We've got 9 hearts for so many people. Emily at 2 hearts, Robin 2 hearts, George 2 hearts. What? There's no dating cutscene for George? Unplayable. Marnie 2 hearts, Alex 2 hearts, Vincent we're missing 2 hearts, Haley we're missing 3, as are Jody, Gus, Mario, Abigail, Willie, Demetrius, Jazz, Penny's missing 4, Sam's missing 4, Harvey's missing 4, Elliot is missing 5, Leah's missing 5, Shane's missing 5, the wizard is missing 6, Sebastian is missing 6, and the dwarf has 1 heart, as does Crovis and Sandy. That is the list.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Um, Point of order from Meg. Thank you for clarifying. Bachelors and bachelorettes are done at 8 hearts. Um, those are considered fully friended up at 8 hearts.
Oh, wow. Okay. Does that mean you can't get 10 hearts without doing the dating and marriage role there? Or,
You can just do dating to get to 10 if you so desire.
okay.
And you can date as many people as you want. There will be one cutscene where they get mad at you, but I don't think it actually affects anything mechanically.
If you just are a sociopath and don't have any empathy for other human beings, then it doesn't affect you.
Well, human beings is a relative term in this game. I guess it's not really a relative term. It's pretty cut and dry that these are not.
In the lore of the game, or because they are a game?
I felt a little called out as a possible sociopath.
No.
So I just want to specify my lack of feelings for these digital people does not translate to actual
Nobody.
diagnosable problems.
What Berkeley was saying, senators, is that nobody is real people to him.
What's the problem? I'm the only real people that is real people.
Man. This is good. I think I needed to have a little bit of silly time in my life. It's been a minute.
Yeah, this is great. Glad we're doing this. Well, we're about at an hour. Should we call it there instead of doing another day?
Yeah, let's do a quick
Or,
let's do a quick progress update on
Okay, you just
dreams and goals.
gave your update on the friendship. I'm working on my skills, so maybe we can give a little update there.
Yeah.
Okay, farming level 10, mining level 4, foraging 10, fishing 10, combat 8. So I'm just gonna keep on grinding them mines.
Yeah. That'll get you your combat proficiency too, because there's
Yep.
monsters down there.
Yeah. So I'm looking pretty good on skills, I think. Jerry,
Nice.
where you at?
I don't think I'm as far as you. Yeah, I've got 10 in fishing, 9 in combat, 8 in foraging, 7 in mining, and 3 in farming. So
Okay.
yeah, you're much closer to that finish line than I am. I think we've caught most of the legendary fish, but I'm not confident we have all of them. I think there was one in the bug zone that I was trying to get, and I don't know if I ever did.
Yeah, there's a tab in the menu that shows all the fish you've caught. But I don't know any of them on site, so maybe not useful.
Special items and powers. No.
It's in collections.
Collections. There it is. Fish. Oh, I have a long way to go. Oh boy, that looks like some sort of squid. Manta ray. Lobster. Other type of lobster. Weird crab-shaped thing. Yeah, so there's a lot of fish left. A lot of items we haven't shipped yet. I imagine we're gonna have to farm quite a bit in the end game once we've got our weeds magic bell thing in place. Golden clock, I don't remember what it is. Something the wizard gives you.
Yeah, golden clock. That is next on our list.
Somehow we've got most of the artifacts. That's impressive. Or not most,
Yeah.
but more than half.
That's most in my book.
A lot of the minerals.
Yeah, for the artifacts and the minerals, I think the next step is just breaking open all the geodes we can. I frequently forget that those are useful. So I have to
We're
remember to
missing-
stay on top of that.
Only 3 secret notes.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean we're farther along than I thought, but we're gonna need a lot of money and iridium, I think, to do what needs doing. So
Cooking is also going to be pretty
oh
difficult.
yeah, we remodeled this house and then I did nothing. So sorry.
That's okay. One thing at a time. We're hitting the skills and we're hitting the friendship right now, and we're trying to get enough money for the golden clock. Once we get those out of the way, we'll pick another mountain to climb, and it'll just be one mountain at a time until we're out of mountains that can be climbed without tools.
And then we'll die on the side
Then
of a
we'll
mountain
die.
that must have tools to climb.
Hmm.
And that
Yep.
will be that. And then, nature will consume our bodies, and all that's left of us will be the nutrients in our non-tool using corpses.
Susie Moo gets it. She says it's the climb from that song about it's the climb.
I don't think I've heard this song.
I bet you have.
Okay.
I think it's Miley Cyrus.
I think I've heard like 2 Miley Cyrus songs, and one of them's Party in the USA and the other one is Wrecking Ball or whatever it was called.
Hmm.
So,
Well, it's neither of those.
darn. All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming out. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for bringing a little bit of joy into the otherwise challenging experience of life. If you want to see us run laps around a cow and a chicken more, we usually stream on Tuesdays. If we're not streaming, we'll tell you guys on our Instagram page. And if you want to interact more offline, but still online, join our Discord. The links to both of those places will be in the About section of our Twitch page or in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. And I hope that you found it one of those ways, because if you didn't, then there's something else going on here, and we'd like to know about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I heard there's like super viral TikTok accounts that just post clips of our streams.
Wow.
And they've got like thousands of viewers.
That's terrible for us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, I'll take it.
Okay, that's fair. All right, well, come out again next time and we'll talk some more about random things. Bye.
Bye.